Today, I'm here with a video on poetic devices, part 1. Now the question arises, what are poetic devices? Poetic devices are a form of literary device used in poetry. A poem is created out of poetic devices composite of structural, grammatical, rhythmic, metrical, verbal, and visual elements. They are essentially tools that a poet uses to create rhythm, enhance a poem's meaning, or intensify a mood or feeling. Now we start with alliteration. Alliteration can be defined as a series of words occurring close together in the phrases or lines of poetry that have the same first consonant sound. As you all know, we have 21 consonants in English alphabets and 5 are the vowel sounds, that is the A, E, I, O, U. Leaving these 5 vowels, we have the rest 21 alphabets as consonants. So when we see that in a phrase or in a line of poetry, we have same first consonant sound repeated, then that is alliteration. For example, his strength behind bars. Here, use of sound B at the start of the two words behind bars is alliteration, both starting with B. Second example is where plump deer pass. The use of P over here at the start of two words, plump pass, is alliteration. The next poetic device is personification. Personification is a poetic device where animals, plants, or even inanimate objects are given human qualities, resulting in a poem full of imagery and description. Let us see the example. I spied a small, lonely boy. I was his beautiful red balloon from morning through to noon. Here, a balloon is referred to as a person. The poet has referred to a balloon, a red balloon, as a person, and so the word I is personification. Let us see the second example. I am silver and exact. I have no preconceptions. Whatever I see, I swallow immediately. Here, the mirror is describing itself and talking about swallowing as people do. Sylvia Plath, in her poem Mirror, has referred to mirror as a person. So here I is personification. Next poetic device that we will do is anaphora. Anaphora is a deliberate repetition of first part of the sentence in order to achieve an artistic effect. Example 1 is, and sorry I could not travel both, and be one traveler long I stood, and looked down one as far as I could. Now here, the repetition of the word and at the starting, that is first part of the sentence, is anaphora. We have repeated and in the beginning of the 3 lines. Robert Frost has used this in his poem, The Road Not Taken. Let us see second example. We cannot dedicate, we cannot consecrate, we cannot hallow this ground. So the starting words, as we can see, are we cannot, and we cannot in all the 3 lines. This is the first part of the sentence. In all the 3 lines, we are repeating the same. So this is anaphora. Next poetic device that we will do is oxymoron. An oxymoron is a figure of speech containing words that seem to contradict each other. It's often referred to as contradiction in terms. Example 1. I like a smuggler. He is the only honest thief. These are the words of Charles Lamb, and he has referred to a smuggler as the honest thief. Isn't this contradictory? Let us see the second example. Act naturally. Now the first word is act. You are already asking a person to act, and then you want him to be natural. So they are 2 contradictory terms. Let us see more examples. Clearly confused. How can a person be clear if he is already confused? So this is an example of oxymoron. Quiet rage. Rage is anger. How can a person be quiet when he is angry? So this is also an oxymoron. Open secret. Secrets are always to be hidden and kept, never to be opened. So this is an oxymoron. Painfully beautiful. How can anything beautiful give pain? So these are contradictory terms and they are oxymoron. Next poetic device that we will do is simile. Simile is a common poetic device. The subject of the poem is described by comparing it to another object or subject using as or like. So that means we are making comparisons using as or like. Let us see the examples. You were as brave as a lion. Here a comparison is made using the word as. Second example, last night I slept like a log. Here a comparison is again, it is being made, and here they are using the word like. So wherever a comparison is made using the words as or like, the poetic device used is simile. Next poetic device is imagery. Imagery in a literary or poetic sense is the author's use of description and vivid language, deepening the reader's understanding of the work by appealing to the senses. So here the poet or the writer uses such words that the reader can imagine. Let us see the example. Fluttering and dancing in the breeze. The poet uses the sense of sight to create a host of golden daffodils fluttering and dancing in the breeze. The use of such words immediately create an imagination in the mind of the reader, and this poetic device is imagery. The next poetic device that we will do is metaphor. Metaphor is a common poetic device where an object in or the subject of a poem is described as being the same as another otherwise unrelated object. Example, the moon was a ghostly galleon tossed upon cloudy seas. Here, the moon has been compared to a ghostly galleon. Let us see the second example. Our words are but crumbs that fall down from the feast of the mind. So nicely Khalil Gibran has quoted in his poem Sand and Foam. Here his words have been compared to crumbs. So beautifully he has done this. Next poetic device is onomatopoeia. Onomatopoeia is the formation of a word which describes its sound. Let us see the example. Water plops into pond, splish, splash, downhill. All these words are sounds for the water dropping at different positions. So they create this sound like plops, splish and splash. These sound words are the poetic device onomatopoeia. Next example is rustling of leaves. Rustling, leaves rustle when they are dry. This is a sound for dry leaves. So well, poets and writers write these poetic devices that are related to sounds that describe sound are onomatopoeia. Next poetic device that we will do is hyperbole. Hyperbole is a figure of speech that involves an exaggeration of ideas for the sake of emphasis. Let us see the example. I'm so sad that I'm drowning in tears. Now this is an exaggeration. Tears will not make a sea where you can drown in. So this is exaggeration of the feelings. The second example is I'm so hungry I could eat a horse. Can any one of us eat a horse? No. This is to show that lay emphasis on the intensity of hunger. So this is a hyperbole. The 10th poetic device that we are going to do today is, this one is the last one. I'll come up with more. This is transferred epithet. Transferred epithet is when an adjective usually used to describe one thing is transferred to another. Let us see the example. He pointed an angry finger at me. Angry finger. How can a finger be angry? That means the person whose finger is referred to is in anger. So there is a transfer of anger here to the finger. So angry finger is transferred epithet. Let us see the second example. Fitting the clumsy helmets just on time. Now the person having these helmets, they must be clumsy. They must be in a state of panic or chaos. And their panic and chaos has been transferred to the helmets. So clumsy helmets is a transferred epithet. I hope you have all understood. I will come up with the second video very soon. Do subscribe my channel. Thank you so much.